Welcome to this series of interviews in which we focus on the goddess and her importance in these pivotal times. I'm very, very happy that you are here.
Thank you.
Connecting from the forest in Norway, right?
Yeah, where it's actually started snowing.
Yeah.
So that's all the snow hasn't gone away yet, but it was really a surprise that it started snowing now, that it feels so nice and cozy because the trees are kind of protecting me a bit from it's
Yeah.
really windy. I don't know if you can hear it.
No.
So the trees are protecting me kind of. So it's so beautiful. And also I just knew I had to come to this place. So now I know why, maybe.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I like the view this way. So, but let us start with you introducing yourself.
Yes, so I'm Irelis, and I also call myself Eirlys and then Nordictales, because that's kind of what I feel I want to share. It's all the beauty with the northern weather and seasons and nature and um, yeah, and I make healing soundscapes. I like to say that healing or transformative soundscape. So I have all these healing instruments and Nordic instruments, Nordic ancient instruments. Um, yeah, and I love being in nature and making videos in nature
Yes.
because I'm using a lot of time in nature. So I think it was last year, I just suddenly thought to myself that I should just start filming this. So I did. Yeah.
And I love your videos, and that's how I found you on
Yeah.
Instagram, actually,
Mm,
where your name is Eirlys Nordictales, right?
yeah.
So people can find you there.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, can you share a bit about the instruments? Because you are saying they're ancient instruments, and you have your crystal balls, of course, but
So I have a big fascination of um, whatever is Nordic, even though I know that nothing is Nordic. We're all we come from the same here in the world, but some things you can say are kind of Nordic. So we have instruments we have been using from like hundred of years back. So you have the bone flutes, which is also used in other cultures. And then you have the willow flute, which is made of willow. And it was used to call back the animals on the farm high up on a mountain.
wow.
And you also have, I also just got a flute that's kind of not ancient, but it's like 100, 200 years old. So it still has a bit of this connecting us with our generations back, because that's what I feel when I use these Nordic instruments. It connects me with my, what should I say, my, I can't find a word right now.
Ancestry? Is it
Ancestry.
ancestry?
Yeah, yeah. And that kind of wake something in me. So I'm really about this activating the light that's in you and activating the wisdom that's in you, because we have so much light, wisdom, and magic within us that just have to be activated. And through these instruments I have, that's kind of what I feel I do. I activate these ancestries, or this um, what our soul kind of um, are a magnet to, or what we have been before or are going to be, or time is linear, so it's doesn't matter what we've been or what we're going to be. It's like, yeah. So also with this I found these alchemy crystal bowls a time back ago, and they are so special because they have this own spirit within themselves. So I feel they are alive, and they play differently wherever I am and whoever I play for. So it's just, yeah, I feel that's more like connecting us with our higher self. Or sometimes I feel what should I say? I don't know if I should say channeling, but I channel kind of these different homes, celestial homes.
Yes. Yes.
And I believe myself that I have had very many different homes, and these are the ones that I connect with and that I can kind of bring to others. And if it aligns, something happens. Yeah.
Beautiful. And you play the harp.
Yeah, and I also play the harp. That's just a so soothing, soft instrument. And yeah, it kind of reminds us of the angelic realm too, and the fairy realm, or the fairy realms.
Yes.
And so I also have a big connection with the fairy realm and the angelic realm.
Of course. And you
Yeah.
show. You know, it's whenever I see you, whenever I see one of your videos, you are just showing either your fairy side, your angelic side, or your mermaid side. It's very, very interesting. It's just whenever I show people your pictures or your videos, they're like, oh, she's a beautiful fairy.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
And yeah, I've always, since I was little, but the thing is, it never went away. I just always thought I was a fairy, or I had this imagination of, yes, I'm a fairy. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a fairy. And then I became like 16 years old, and I was still like, yes, I'm a fairy. And 20 years old, yes, I'm a fairy. And just have kept on going. And that, I think that's like that kind of inner knowing into, I think for me, like really embracing the inner goddess is something like just embracing your homes, kind of,
Yeah.
and just having this inner knowing of this is right for me.
Yes.
And so yeah, and all the instruments I have has just come to me in the most magical ways, and I always just known that yeah, this is something I will bring into my life and my realm. So it's really a strong connection. And yeah.
Do I see the sun starting to shine?
Yeah. It's still snowing a bit, and then the sun is coming through.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I didn't say that before, but I have my dog with me, as you can see. She's here. Her name is Shanti, which means peace. I guess you know that.
Yes.
So, and when we went up, suddenly another dog followed us. And when I get more closer to this place, I suddenly saw 3 deers. And so, which is kind of this amazing feeling of having all these animals around me. And that is also kind of strange because animals kind of just suddenly come to me. And I love that. But I love animals. I think it's because I, what is it called? Emanate this love unto animals. So they feel kind of, we can come to this person.
You carry the love frequency.
Yeah, I think that the animals are so, they have this unconditional love. But if you really tap into it, it can be overwhelming in a good way. And it can heal us. And I truly believe that animals are here to bring us humans back again to love.
So Well, it's beautiful what you share, the way you do that. And I feel it's mostly about embodying it. Is that true? Is that?
Yeah, it's true. The knowing of this is something I feel aligned with, and then embodying it, and then still you can choose to just embody it. But then I also feel it's this mm, to share it again, so it kind of comes through you. I think sharing could maybe be that creative expression we have.
Yes.
Yeah, to so that you can actually um, just bring it further to others so their light can also be activated or be remembered,
Yeah.
re-embraced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. So when it comes to the goddess, when we were in contact before, you said, "Oh, this is funny." Now you asked me about the interview and sharing something in the goddess course, actually, as well, in the goddess trajectory. And then you said, "Well, I just discovered a Nordic goddess I didn't know, or you hadn't heard of before." Or can you share what that was?
I remember, yeah. So I've that's another story. I can try to tell it very smoothly. I'm practicing that. But when I went into this, when you have this feeling of what you're supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
or what you're here for, you kind of just go deeper and deeper.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I think this is it. And then you try it, then it's like, no, but it was something here still. And that was happened to me, like just going deeper and deeper. And in one way, that's been firstly that I have this connection with the Nordic nature and I want to know more. I know it's something here. And then I started to read the Nordic folk tales. And then I figured that Nordic folk tales is so um, there's no femininity there. Like it's not feminine. That's the energy is not there. So it's only like male oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like they're not telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And then went further back in time. And then I came to, because Nordic folk tales is like just 100, 200 years old. So when I went further back to the Viking time, to the Norse, and then I still had the same feeling. This is not completely it, because it was still so male oriented.
Yeah.
And I still felt that where is the spiritual in all this? Because
Mm-hmm.
I could find the spiritual, but it was still so, I felt like something was hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went further, and I kind of, I guess, I kind of just asked that I want to go further, please show me. And then suddenly my neighbor shows up, and she has written 2 books about this
Oh,
exact topic. My neighbor, of all things, it's crazy.
wow.
So she goes back all the way back to the Bronze Age and tells about these Nordic goddesses and where it actually all comes from, like really deep down where it comes from. And when I'm talking about this, I get chills, kind of like, oh, wow. So you have this Nordic goddess, like the most powerful Nordic goddess called Hel. So it kind of translates to whole.
Whole.
Yeah, so that's Hel, that's the Norwegian word for whole.
Wow.
And that's like the actually goddess, and all the other goddesses that have come after. Like in the Nordic folk tales, you have all these trolls, like Huldra. Uh, n- Not many have heard of her, but she's a troll that's kind of luring the men to her. And then, so she's not kind, but it's
Mm-hmm.
still, she's not that powerful either. And the in the Viking culture and in the Nordic folklore culture, they have just made woman to this small thing. But all these trolls, woman trolls, and also Nordic goddesses, they don't talk too much about in Norse mythology, actually arrives from this powerful Nordic goddess Hel. And she's the one that's connecting everything. She's the one that's connecting the earth and heaven. So I don't want to talk too much about this because I'm still learning. I'm actually going into this course because then I talked to my neighbor and I bought the books and I read them. And then she says, yeah, I have a whole course on this.
Oh.
And I was just amazed. And she told me that Norse mythology, I mean, Nordic mythology or the way back is also connected to Greek mythology and Celtic mythology. So it's kind of old. It's all kind of the same.
Yeah.
And it just makes so much sense. And also, it also is kind of this, we can't own a culture because nothing is its own culture in a way.
Yes.
From deep down. Yeah. I hope that was smoothly said.
Yes, you did. You did very well.
I'm really
I love
passionate
to hear
about this. Yeah, I'm so passionate about this topic right now. So, yeah.
Well, thank goddess.
Thank goddess. Love that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are her books in English or in Norwegian?
Still, they're only Norwegian, I think. But I will ask her, and you could link it if I found it. Even
Yes,
though you
please.
can link to, maybe she has something in English, maybe.
Yeah,
So.
yes. I would love to learn more because there's so much resemblance in religion, in the sage tales, in that the women have been left out, the goddesses have been left out, but even feminine scientists have been left out. Recently, I was reading a book of, she's a Dutch author, and she has written a book about societies that are still in balance. And she came with an example of a feminine scientist, so a woman. I think she was from either the 2nd or 3rd century. And I had never heard of her, but it apparently, even in these days, we are using things that she invented, which is what, and I was like, wow. So it has been, it's not called history for nothing, I feel. So we are bringing back, not only women, but hopefully also men who feel that everything has been out of balance. We need to bring back her story as well. So thank you for sharing her story.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And I think that's also been with my story, that my family is very male oriented, that like the world is. So that's not a surprise that my family is them. But I started to bring back this femininity that was so kind of unknown to me. And so that's kind of been a road. And I think what it comes down to is to learn or relearn how to be in this flow, where everything happens, where everything is aligned, where you just know deep down inside of you, and where you don't take any steps before you're aligned with it, kind of. You just have this, and that's really a relearning because we haven't moved that way in a very long time. Yeah.
I honor you for doing that, and thank you for expressing this, because I feel many people actually will recognize this within themselves, either within their family, but surely within society. Like, we've had not many or not at all examples when it comes to embodying the divine feminine energies, and that is, for example, really powerful as well. Whereas we've had this example of what strength should look like, and it, like, you know, Vikings or whatever, male Vikings.
Yeah.
And there is an abundance of examples of how we can show up as true sovereign and strong beings. And I honor you for walking this path and having the courage to do that and following your heart, because I truly feel you are following your heart's and soul's calling.
Yeah, and that is, I agree with you too, that you have to be brave to do that, because it's scary, because it's not something we are, most of us are well known to.
No.
So you kind of, when you start doing it, you have this feeling, or I have had this feeling of, will this work? Will this really work? Because if it don't work, it can like bring me like really on the wrong track.
Yes.
But to just like having this trust that
Yes.
it will. Yeah. And that is also what I just have this really strong trust now, that it it works, and because it feels so good. Yeah.
Well, and it shows, and this is the true power, I feel, because as soon as you have the courage to tap into your authenticity, it just shows, and you don't have to prove anything. No, and well, people can think you're weird or make fun of you or whatever, but you just know this is what I need to do. This is how I need to
Yeah.
show up. This is what I want to share from my heart with the world.
Yeah, and
So
that's also what I've experienced as one of the best freedom you can feel,
yes,
to just allow yourself to be who you are, and to allow yourself to do what you feel to do,
yeah,
and to not care what other people would say. That's like such a freedom to allow yourself to do that.
that is true freedom. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is. Yes. It's the only freedom I feel we're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's here, right? It's here.
Yeah.
And it has always been here.
Yeah.
So could you share, because I love what you mentioned about, you know, I haven't had any examples, but I am walking this path anyway. So what makes me curious is to hear about how did you take off? Because when you share, maybe people can recognize or see, yeah, that fits me, that would be good. Like, we need to start with small steps, or maybe sometimes it has to be a big decision, like, okay, so I'm not following this path anymore because it keeps me going off track all the time.
Yeah.
So what was for you, either, there are two questions actually. I'm now asking, what was your turning point, I feel, and then how did you take off on that path of being yourself, being true?
So it's really gone in different stages from I was little. Um, so it's so challenging to say what exactly made me really embrace,
Mm-hmm.
because it has gone in different stages. It has gone deeper and deeper, and in some periods of times in my life, I just have gone further away from it, to just kind of I've always been the one who have to find out things in my own way. So for me, it also have been because I started really early on in my younger like teenage to be or to recognize this spiritual part of me. But then I went away from that again because I think it just became so overwhelming and I felt so alone with it, with re-embracing the spiritual side of me and just really knowing that I'm not from here, I'm from another place, and feeling kind of, because the meaning for me hadn't kind of integrated in me why I'm here. So it was so difficult to be aligned in my spiritual me, but not knowing why am I here? Why am I here? I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Why? Can't you tell me? But I just didn't get any answer.
Yeah.
So it just got so overwhelming at last, because just having this, like kind of missing so much how you felt in your other homes, and knowing how you could actually feel, but you can't feel it here in this earth. I couldn't feel it at that time because earth hadn't, it's a whole different way now with earth. It has really arisen in another way. But so I just turned my back on my spirituality because I had to experiment, like, will this feel better? And my answer is that no, it didn't feel better. I think it was kind of having like I chose to just have a blindfold with my eyes, like, okay, I will just try to live this life as everyone else does and try to forget where I come from and who I am. So that also kind of just made me down a hole. And then I was scared of connecting with my spirituality again because I didn't know if that was the reason for why I went down this hole. But slowly I started to get back again. And one of the reasons why I came back, grounding, really integrating in this spirituality, was with my music. So I always made music and always played music since I was, always. But I started experimenting with this soft, sensitive kind of feeling at home in the music. And it really became a meditative practice. And it became deeper and deeper and deeper. And it was so many years I played, didn't record it. And then I started recording it a couple of years, but didn't share it. But then last year, I just had this feeling that now, because it's strange, but I kind of feel like when the Aquarius time started, I just had this feeling that this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. The world is ready for what I'm here for. And now I know. So it was like this big opening, and I don't have words for it, but I have this aligned that I know where I'm from and I know why I'm here. So it lies so deep within.
Yes.
And that's what made me share.
Yes. And what is the difference? What is the biggest difference for you since then? What do you notice now in your life compared to when you didn't live a life in alignment?
So it was kind of very confusing to never know where to go, what to do. And I felt that every day, this confusion with my emotions too, and thoughts, and because I didn't know where to put anything, kind of. So it felt kind of like someone just put me here and just left.
Mm. Yeah.
But now I feel this, I put myself here, or we did, you know, as
Yes.
everyone is put here like one,
Yeah.
and for a reason. We're
Mm.
not left behind.
This course, The Goddess Rises, is of course about the goddess, about the inner feminine, the divine feminine, and Gaia and the divine cosmic mother. Does she mean anything to you in day-to-day life, or are you working with these frequencies, the goddess codes, or the goddess energy with certain practices, maybe apart from your music?
So I feel like yes, and I can come back to that, what I also said before, that for me the goddess within is that flow where everything just happens, and where I just know what to do and what my next step is. Or if I don't know my next step, I still know my next step, kind of. And I also guess, yeah, it's just a feeling of being here and now, and that something leads me. I feel that's the inner goddess. And I do and I don't have practices for connecting, because I also been a yoga teacher for a couple of years and a meditation teacher. That's
Mm-hmm.
also something I've been doing. And earlier on, I had all these different kinds of practices I usually did, but now it has just come down to, I meditate when I feel like it's kind of calling me, or I do yoga when it's calling me. And I always just also follow a flow there. And I feel that's so much more powerful, to see where it leads me, and suddenly I have activated or opened up something or let go of something, and uh, I feel like that's when I also feel that I'm really, really, really not alone. And there's so many guides and angels and fairies and spirits from other planets that are helping me and us.
Yeah.
And yes.
I love that. Yeah,
Mm.
the second module of the trajectory, The Goddess Rises, is actually called Holy Flow. And it has to do with recognizing that this flow is present always. We just have to recognize it and then
Yeah.
tune in and attune to it,
Yeah.
and keep listening from within. So I love that. And also, prior to the talk with you, I talked to someone and she said, yeah, I used to have this morning routine, like I need to do this and this and this and this, and meditate such a long time, and then do my yoga and do my this. And then she said, since I started working with you, I don't anymore. And it just arises within, and I feel it's it's so much more, it frees me up. So and that too is it's like a deprogramming of things
Mm.
we have been taught, we have been conditioned into,
Yeah.
and that might be the only way, at least that was what was being told. Whereas there is this flow that is constantly here, and we only need to start to listen and tune into it. So
Yeah. That's what you say and what she said. I guess it's I so feel with that, because yeah, I also had these routines and being disciplined and thought that was the way. And when I freed up, it just opened so many things up, and my healing just kind of went up to the roof. Um, and kind of also that everything I practice and do, it's just the same.
Yeah.
It feels like when we don't use our mind to like, I'm going to do this now, and then this, and then this, instead of where is the energy, kind of, where is the energy right now? Where is the joy, or the like this still peaceful joy? Where is it?
Mm-hmm.
um it kind of feel like this childish energy
Yes.
where you're just like jumping on that train and jumping on that, and I'm doing this now, and oh, this is so fun, and oh, I should have done that, but that's okay, I know this is what I should do now. And yeah, uh, when you do that, it's also sometimes I have this, I should do this now because someone is waiting for me to do this, but then I feel like, no, I should do this. The child comes in, and then it's always my child always comes back to this thing that I should do, because the child wants to do that suddenly, but the child wanted to do this first. But still, of course, it has to be also aligned with other energies. I feel we can't always just move on to that, but I guess it's kind of deeper, so that's another talk.
So let me see, because I prepared a few questions, but then I never looked at the paper again.
I love that. The free flow.
um, so yeah, and I think even without the questions, we touched upon everything. Because you know what inspires you, you talked about that. I feel, unless you want to add something to that. Yeah, maybe you have a tip or a suggestion for people, how they can tune in more to their inner nature, to their inner goddess, to their self, or however one wishes to call it.
So, what I used to say is to, of course, as you said in the start, maybe you can suddenly just jump on and do something, but it's usually in these small steps and going deeper and deeper and deeper, not going from here to there.
Yeah.
So it's the start of just experimenting and dare to experiment with life, and dare to feel what you really love and like. And sometimes people don't have this because we're so far from the truth, far from our truth, that we don't, so, some of us don't even know what we love. So we have to ask, but what do you like? What do
Yeah.
you like to do? Even like down to what colors do you like? Um, what people do you like? What energy from people do you like? When do you feel good in yourself? In what kind of environments?
Yeah.
And it just goes deeper and deeper, and to dare to experiment and trying things that I don't know if I like this, but I will try. Oh, I didn't, but I think I will, maybe this.
Yeah.
And then you come down to this love. You just know you love it, and then it becomes a passion, and then you will start to go down to this calm heart joy of it, where everything is just aligned, and you just know
Mm.
this is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that. I love that. And thank you for touching upon the importance actually of daring to fail.
Yeah, that's
Because it's
yeah.
never a failure, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, it's never a failure. And I also have this with my music, and with especially my music, I never call it a failure,
Mm.
never. um because it doesn't work like that.
Mm. Yeah.
It's always an experiment, and daring to be curious. And yeah.
we speak each other's language, sister. We speak each other's language, because I always emphasize the importance of curiosity, a childlike, innocent, open curiosity. So
yeah, because we have to just take this away, this failure thing doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Because that's not being perfect. Being perfect is being imperfect.
yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, is there anything else people should know apart from your website you could mention?
So I have released songs. So I have for now, maybe when you share this, I have 4 songs or more. So, and you can find them on every platform, musical platform. So you can just go and search on Irelis, and I guess I can give you a link so they can find it too.
Yes, please. I will put the link below. Yes.
Yeah, and I will also start to have a shop on my website where you can shop different kinds of musical meditations that are dipping kind of into different kinds of themes, so you can go and see what resonates with you in your period of time, and letting it be a healing or transformation for you. So that's my project right now, what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So moving further with what I'm doing, expanding.
And I've actually created a playlist for the course, or for anyone really, which is called The Goddess Rises, and then HeartSOUlutions, and you're in it.
Oh,
So people can find it on Spotify. So
that's
you can
good.
go to Spotify, and then I put in, I think it's called Arctic Tales. No,
Arctic Breeze.
Arctic Breeze. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, but my upcoming album will be called Nordic Tales.
Oh,
yeah,
I love that. Okay, so yeah, I think we've had we're full circle for now. Well, we're never full circle, but anyway. Oh no, there's one more question I need to ask you, because is there something you are adding to the Goddess course, the Goddess Rises course?
It will be a surprise.
It will be a surprise.
And I also can actually, I think I can, because my crystal bowl has now climatized itself. So I'm pretty sure it will be okay. So
great.
Get it up now. So I think I will just play very not so long because of the cold.
Yes.
And I hope the microphone has a good enough sound for this.
Okay.
But we will try.
Look at that beauty.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. So this has an amazing calm in it, because every alchemy crystal bowl has its own kind of how it affects us. So let's see.
Yes. I cannot hear it.
You can't hear it?
No, nothing. Only this. Wow. I love talking to you. I loved getting to know you better. I love the way you show your passion and share your passion with the world. So
thank you so much. And it was so lovely to talk to you. It was really meaningful, and thank you for what you're doing. It's so beautiful when you shared what your course was about. It's just magical.
So thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much. And well, I will put the links below, and we keep in touch for sure. And people who are participating, can enjoy your music, your art in the course as well. So thank you again, and until next time.
Yes.
Once she has awoken within, she will rise. You'll free yourself of inner cages, of structures linked to the patriarchal matrix, allowing the healthy feminine and masculine to merge, discovering that 1 + 1 is way more than just these two that converge. It is now more than ever that she rises in the hearts of many. Are you ready to let her have her flow, to live a life in magic and crystalline glow? The Goddess Rises is a 7-week online program created for those who feel the calling to protect her legacy, the guardians of love, the keepers of life's beauty. This trajectory includes online gatherings filled with crystalline goddess codes activations, transmissions, affirmations, invocations, inspiration and guided meditation, supporting the ascension of the wisdom that has always been waiting within to be freed, re-embodied, and then to be shared. Much love to you.
Mother Divine, whoa, Mother Divine, Mother Divine, whoa, Mother Divine.
Thank you for watching, subscribing, liking, sharing and commenting. Come to the website heartsolutions.com and join the Field of Love membership area and the Goddess Rises online course to enjoy many light code activations and light language, all without commercials.